Mayhem! Does thou await? Welcome one, welcome all to Mellow and Vibe, yes. This is Mellow and Vibe, yes, I do indeed introduce this very show, Mellow and Vibe, quite a bit, don't I? Count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, as we rock, as we roll, we speak it loud, we speak it loud, proud, very proud, more, yes, greetings one, greetings all, I am of course your host, Oscar Reedlin. It is my honour, my pleasure and my privilege to be here with you yet again, Epicsode 75 of Mellow and Vibe, yes indeed, Epicsode 75. On this very episode, we are going to be chin-wagging about movies, crafts, creations. There's no nectar, there's no feasting, but there will be. It is not done. More on the way, baby. More on the way on this very episode. You're welcome here, so thank you kindly for joining us, and you are viewing this madness. What the hell did I just watch? Who knows? Who knows? But on this very episode, this very episode, we are going to be chin-wagging about movies and time. Because there are many movies out there that were crafted, that were gifted life, and they were awesome, they were epic. Not everyone sadly did well, but they are known, they are slaying, and they are doing their own thing. Like, I will give an example, because everybody probably knows these 3 Time Flows On 4 movies. The first 3, as we say, daaaaam, The Matrix. The Matrix 1, or just The Matrix, and then I think it was The Matrix Reloaded, and the final, I think was it Matrix Revolution, and they were done back to back to back. It was there was a little gap, if I remember correctly, because the first Matrix was 1999 and the Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolution was 2003, so there was a little gap between the first and the second and third, but the fourth, wow, yeah, so that is a well-known factor that there was 3 movies, that's 4, 3 movies done. Usually it's just one movie and then many years later another movie. So yeah, I mean, my point is sometimes they do not hit, because the first 3 Matrixes, oh yes, I'm a big fan of the first 3 Matrixes. I've seen the first 3 Matrixes countless times. They're works of art, the Wachowski brothers, legendary, yes, wow, baby! They are beautiful, and they are masterpieces, and I love everything about them. And then many years later, rolling on, we've got Matrix 4, which for me was groovy, but it did not have that, like, you know, leather BDSM, spicy 2000s vibe, because the first 3, even though the first 1 was done in 1999, if I remember correctly, it had that early bam, 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 that grunge, that ooh, gothica, that wow, that beauty, and that bliss, that leather, that spice, that domination kind of vibe, and it was freaky, it messed with the mind, it had that whoa, shut up. You know, Neo is fighting Morpheus, you get the idea with that. It was beautiful. And, of course, it starred the legends Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne. So, you know, beautiful. pure and true. It was legendary, and we love it, we love it, we love it. And they epically slayed it, and they will always live on. But the fourth, it was groovy, but it didn't have that boom. It didn't have that. So sometimes it doesn't, I mean, for me, there is a movie that waited quite a few years to bring out the sequel. So there's one movie, not three this time, because the first three Matrixes were popping, bussing, as people say, bussing. They were, and they hit heavy, and they did their thing. What the hell is happening with my hair? I've got no idea. Can we get makeup? No, we do not have the budget on this show. It's just me, and them, and all of those, and these, and yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, it was good, but it just, that's just me. It's just me. I don't want to spoil it, don't want to give anything away. I do recommend you rock wild and you watch it, see what you think, because it did have some badass boom moments, of course. Plus, Keanu Reeves still slaying it, please. And of course, the other movie I was talking about was Super Troopers. First one was released 2001, and that tickles the funny bone. It was beautiful. It is beautiful. If you've not seen Super Troopers, I highly recommend watching Super Troopers, because it is epically amazing. It'll tickle you. It'll make you laugh. It's got action. It's got unpredictable moments. It is a beautiful movie. And then I think, 17 years later, I do believe, because I think it was 2018, the second one came out. If I've got this correct, please don't quote me on that. I think it was about 2017, 2018, so about round there. So 16, 17 years later, they did a Super Troopers 2, and of course you are popping if you are guessing it did possess all the original cast. Yes, it did. And for me, it had been far too long, and because I'd seen the first Super Troopers movie countless times, because it tickled me so much and I loved it, and it's just beautiful. So if you've not seen it, I think it's a classic piece of cinema history, so go watch that if you've not seen it, and the second one as well. But the thing was, the second one hit for me. Sadly, not like The Matrix, the fourth one, because the first three, bossing, popping, rocking and locking. But yeah, it was still a good movie, but it didn't have the spark, it didn't have the pizzazz, it didn't have the spice. But Super Troopers 2, that definitely did. Yes, of course. Please. I loved that. I absolutely loved that. It was amazing. It was a beautiful movie. And of course, it was worth the wait. I mean, up until that point, it was announced, and, word started spreading, casting out, bam, bam, bam. I didn't know it was going to be a thing, because it had been far too long, because that's what I mean. There's many movies out there where they have the first, and a sequel does come, but many years later. If I've got this correct, was it 1980? No, it wasn't. I'm going to say 1989, but I'm probably wrong on that one. Was it 1986? No. Come on, I should know this. Roll with it. I was going to say 1988, but I was closer to 89, but I don't think it is it? And then 86 was in my head. But whoa, I should know this, because I've recently seen the sequel to it. But yeah, definitely go watch Super Troopers 2. Go watch the first Super Troopers, because that hit heavy. That worked for me, and I know everybody's different, but the second Super Troopers tickled, it hit, it had all the original cast, it was like they never left, and it was beautiful. I was sad that we had to wait about 16, 17 years for a sequel for the second, but you know, I mean, all these years they could have been rolling, rocking, wow, baby, and they could have been producing, you know, Super Troopers 50. No, they won't be on 50 now. That would be, I mean, they could have done, you know, 6 or 7, you know, like the Police Academy movies. I mean, there's about 7 or 8 of those, isn't there? So, you know, they could have slayed it like that because they're beautiful movies too. Wow! Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And of course, the second movie or the third movie I was just about to say is because I've recently watched the sequel to that, but the original was the 80s. So we had to wait quite a few years, over 20 I'd say, about 80s, 90s, maybe a little, damn, but I'm speaking of So yeah, that's the movie I mean. I can't say it too many times because if I say it, you know what will happen. And we do not want that. So the movie was Beetlejuice. That was the movie. Do not say it 3 times in a row because if you do, you know, without a break, then you know what's going to happen if you've seen that movie. And The Juice 2, we can call it The Juice because woo, the juice is loose, baby. You know it, but we don't want to loose the juice because mad things, crad things, bad things, wow things will happen. So so I watched The Juice 2, and I've seen the first Juice many times. It is beautiful, it is bliss, it is fantastic. Michael Keaton slaying it as the Juice. Yes, please. So we waited a while, and you know the things I heard about the Juice 2, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, you know, a lot of souls were not happy about it, but I found it quite funny. I quite liked The Juice 2. I enjoyed The Juice 2, and even though, you know, I've seen the first Juice many times, when I got into the second, I was like, I've missed this. Like, I've missed this so much. I'm glad that The Juice is back. I'm honoured to see The Juice again because it is beautiful. It is bliss. And sometimes, right, if you don't know, a sequel after so many years can introduce a new generation, a new dawn, a new birth of souls into that form of cinema, because many souls that have been recently gifted life, or maybe not recently but in the past, you know, few years or so, they may not know about The Juice 1, and then of course they see this brand new boom up on the big screen. What is that? It's The Juice 2. Wait a minute, it's the second one. There's a first. Let me do some research and I'll find out. And then of course history is made because you go back, you re-watch it, or should I say you watch it for the first ever time because you know you're that kind of generation, you might not have seen it. And history is made, and it's beautiful. It is bliss, and I love it. And I've seen The Juice 1 many times. I've seen The Matrixes 1, 2, and 3 many times. I've seen Super Troopers 1 many times. And I've watched the sequels as well quite a few times, especially to the Super Trooper, because yes please, and The Juice 2, it's been on my list for quite some time. Almost went to the big screen by the moment of the moment, but sadly we didn't, or should I say I didn't. So I recently watched it. It was really good, it was amazing, it was funny, it had a beautiful cast. I was glad that The Juice is back, and I don't know if they'll do a third, but who knows. And it had a lot of the original cast rocking wild. Yes. So that was beautiful, that was magical. That's how we do. And there are many other movies that have been sat there and then the sequel comes out many years later, or there's been many movies that they reboot, because it would be beautiful to see certain movies rebooted or certain movies brought back to life. I mean, when I say reboot, I don't mean, you know, I mean that they reboot them, they take the original and they kind of remake it in ways, or perhaps they add to it because they take an original movie that came out, you know, a couple of years ago in the, you know, back in the day. They're classics, yes, and they'll either add to it, like they'll do a prequel to it, like there's been many prequels to it, and I'll take a one for you, yes I will. Speaking of the Wicked, which is the most recent Wicked movie to appearance, because it is part one, so there's more. There's been the Oz, Journey to Oz, or Oz the Great and Powerful, with James Franco back, I think, in 2011, which is the origin story of how the wizard gets to Oz, and then in between that, it's the Wicked. So it goes Oz the Great and Powerful, Wicked, and then the Wizard of Oz in timeline order. But a lot has happened because these movies that have been added after have sort of said, well, we'll zip, we'll zap, we'll zoom, and we'll do this. And sometimes they snap and things now don't make sense because you line it up. It was Oz the Great and Powerful, it was Wicked, it was the Wizard of Oz, and that is in timeline order of events that flow as things go. But because of things that have gone down in Wicked, which is the most recent, which came out I believe last year, which was absolutely beautiful. I watched that movie, I loved it. It was bopping, locking and popping, and as far as I know it was either one or one of the most recent live action pure true animated movies that oh wait a minute, whoa, hold on there, are you ready? We're gonna do this part two. Keep it mellow, keep it vibe. I've been Oscar Riedlin. Mellow and Vibe, part two, baby. We'll be back! Yeah! Woo! We're doing